Hi, hello, my name's Than, short for Nathaniel. So today, very exciting, I have Harry Styles' first official makeup launch here. This is the Pleasing X Marco Ribeiro Pressed Powder Pigment Palette. It's like a little metal tin like this. So when you open it up, there's this little slip here. And it says, this palette contains 8 wet to dry powders to create infinite colors and textures. The magnetic container lets you be free to arrange each color as you like or add your favorite pans. So that's very exciting because I did not know it was magnetic and I was so confused by this little piece that I saw like in the pictures. I was like, are they just like sitting in this cardboard thing? But no, so this is just like a little frame that keeps the powders in their like original position, but you just pop this out. And yeah, so it's just like a magnetic palette and you can kind of, you know, just arrange it however you want. I already have some like, like single shadows from Cliona that I've been looking for a spot for literally since I got them like almost a year ago. So I'm excited, to finally have somewhere to put them. Another thing is that when these are all done or expired or whatever, you just take them out and this tin can still be used, you know, as a different kind of palette, or you can put, I don't know, I have a lot of like all my rose ink stuff as well is all like refillable and stuff, so I could pop that out and just put it in here. I don't know, I'm excited. I think this is a cute tin. It says apply with fingers, brush, or sponge, blend with gloss medium or a touch of water to create a fluid formula. So they came out with this like gloss medium thing to use with the pigments, but I think I'm just gonna try spraying some MAC Fix Plus on like a brush and just kind of see what happens. I did swatch all the colors already. The metallics are really, really nice, sparkly, creamy. The matte white seems very, very faint, but in the promo pictures, it's built up like a lot. So I'm thinking that might be one that I try wet as well. Out of the navy and brown mattes, the navy I think is gonna take some building, but it's not necessarily patchy. It's smooth. They're both kind of dry feeling, but I think it's gonna be fine. Also, another thing to note is they are heavily advertising that this pink shade is not for use around the eye area, which I really appreciate. Like they even have a little sticker right on the front of the box that says that, says it on the back. So, you know, I know there's been some past controversies with other brands and it's always like a pink pigment, but you know. So it says not for use in the eye area. I may still put it around the eyes, or I might try it as a blush. I think I'm gonna start with the eyes today actually because I want to do like a reverse cat eye situation. So I feel like I'm anticipating that I'm gonna have to redo it a couple times maybe, potentially. I'm gonna start with this Byredo Kajal Liner in Neela. I was thinking about using the Victoria Beckham one, but let's just use this and see how it goes. I might switch to the Victoria Beckham, but you know, we'll see how this goes first. Just taking this Pencil Pro, I'm just gonna sort of blend a little bit. KJH number 9 brush. With this brush, I'm basically picking it up from the back of my hand. So I'm just putting some liner on my hand, picking up with this, and then kind of almost using this brush as like a stamp. I'm taking this smaller brush, Rephr 29. It's super, super little, really good for detail. This is so hard. This side's a little higher, I think, actually. Okay, took that wing off. Pressure's on. Okay, putting a little bit more of this liner on the back of my hand. Okay, so I used a Q-tip and sort of smudged the extra part away to like create the wing. So I think it's more or less like fine from straight ahead, straight on. Now I'm gonna jump into the palette. So let's go with this navy here. I'm taking it on my little Rephr number 3. I'm actually gonna clean off this little Rephr brush I was using before, the number 29. Gonna go into this pigment and sort of stamp. I'm gonna take this Sonia G worker brush into the white color here. A good amount of pigment there. Yeah, just gonna stamp this and see what happens. Actually, that went on a lot more pigment than I thought it was. I'm gonna spray the brush real quick and try the other side wet. Maybe the wet side went on a little bit more pigmented. Just gonna keep kind of building it across the eye. Maybe I should wet it more. Let me wet it more. Let's just see. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. Okay, now I really am going for it. Okay, it is looking a little bit brighter when it's wet. And it doesn't seem like it's like removing when I'm going back over it. I feel like sometimes with shadows like this, it can be patchy if you go in wet and then dry and then wet and then dry. But so far, this seems to be like doing fine. Okay, so now that I have that down, I'm gonna take my finger, actually, I'm gonna go into that gold shade. Actually, I'm gonna take this Byredo brush into the gold. And I'm like, maybe I should bring this out with the wing. I'm gonna wet this brush, go into the gold. I'm gonna take my finger now into that super sparkly toppery shade right here. This is a different formula than the other metallics, it seems. Just a bit more shinier. And it's adding a lot of light to the eye. It's also incredibly light feeling, the texture. For being so shiny, it's very like, I don't know, like it still feels like you're touching like a dry matte almost. I don't know, it's not chunky. It's extremely smooth. I feel like usually, you know, the super shiny shades, they're a bit grittier or more glittery. This is not that. Okay, hopefully this is even. I'm so scared. Give face oil. Gonna use the Haus Labs Triclone foundation. Taking a bit of M Cosmetics Terra. KVD Good Apple Concealer. Taking my Shaquda angled face brush in the Rom&nd Better Than Shape powder. with some more of the liner on my hand. Just go back in and sort of define after we did that concealer. Taking my short-handled Byredo brush into the contour powder that I used. I'm gonna use this Rephr number 28. Gonna wet it. Gonna pack on some of this super sparkly, more top coaty shade. I actually think that did make a difference. Oh my god, this side's totally bigger. Fuck. No. Okay, I panicked and I went in with more liner on the inner corner, and I hope I didn't fuck it up too bad. Oh my god. This is driving me nuts. Gonna try using this Byredo brush with the white pigment that's in this palette. Okay, now let's try out this pink pigment here. I think this is the smallest cheek brush I have. It's the Sonia G Lotus detail brush. And I'm just gonna try to dip. I'm sort of rotating it as I tap it into the pan. Like that, to try and not get, get different parts of the brush coated without getting the other colors on it. This is a really pretty, vibrant pink. Take my Sonia G Face One, and I'm just gonna buff it out a bit with this brush. Gonna add a bit of this Gucci bronzer, the Sonia G Soft Cheek. A bit more of that pigment. For lips, I'm gonna go in with Rosy Shell from Lisa Eldridge. Then I'm gonna go on top with the Raye gloss from Audette. Let's try out the Anastasia Lash Brag Mascara. I just got this from work. Hopefully I like this. Okay, with 2 coats, I love this mascara. Gonna use the Dior OnSet Brow Gel in the shade number 1. Gonna use this Cle De Peau Highlighter in the shade 201, or yes, 201. With the Sonia G Designer Pro, I'm just gonna take the Pat McGrath powder here. Okay, I think that's it, so let's zoom in and then we'll go over my final thoughts. Okay, so let's talk about this palette. I like the concept more than I thought I would, because I didn't know it was like a magnetic thing and you can kind of move it around, add your own, pressed powders or whatever it may be, cream blushes. I have a lot of things that are like refillable now. I think that's kind of like the trend, lots of things are gonna be, refillable going forward. So it's handy to have, a little magnetic palette like this. I am curious. I'm wetting another brush, and I just want to go into the navy shade wet. So I just did some strokes with the navy pigment wet, and I'm not really that impressed, to be honest. I felt like the white shade, it wasn't really skipping or anything, but with this one, I don't know, it's being like weird. Okay, so tapping on the pigment definitely builds it a little more evenly, makes it a little more opaque. But I feel like their marketing is a little bit misleading because in their pictures, it's like, whew, like navy, like super deep navy. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be able to do this liner with just this pigment on its own. But it is like complementary to, you know, my other navy liners, so. And I could see this being like a good color for, you know, deepening up the outer V of a blue look. It does have some pretty good staying powder though. I was just kind of blending it out. I don't know, maybe there's like a learning curve to this. They do have their gloss that they sell. So I'm thinking maybe that it goes better with the gloss. I don't know, I just feel like actually going in dry and just tapping it on, it's more pigmented. And it looks actually smoother. So, I don't know. Sometimes with these wet dry things, especially when it's a wet dry matte shade, I just don't know if they really benefit from going in wet. Shimmers, I feel like always shimmers look better wet, you know, they always get like a little more of a punch. But with the mattes, I don't know. I did feel like the white, when it was matte, did brighten up. And it wasn't like patchy or weird, so that was good. But yeah, the blue, I think it's just, you're better off just going in dry. This brown shade though is much more pigmented than the navy, like right off the bat. You can see that was just one little swipe there. With the navy, you do have to kind of press, but with the brown, you can blend, like just in a more sweeping motion. I love the pink as a blush. It was super punchy, and it still kind of blended out nicely too. This sparkly toppery shade here I love. Again, it's not like a very gritty topper. Like, it doesn't feel glittery or chunky whatsoever. It's super smooth, but I feel like you still get a good nice like wet sheen from it. It's not the most sparkly thing. Like, I bet if it was a little more chunky, a little more textured, you would get even more of a kind of more impact. I kind of appreciate the more lightweight kind of texture, you know? Okay, let me swatch these metallics and the topper all together. So the purple, it's not like the worst purple in the world, but it's not like the best either. It's a little less pigmented than the green and the gold. The green and the gold are the most pigmented out of the four. The green, I feel like, is definitely the star of the show. I do like the gold. It is nice, but I don't know. It's not as incredible as I first imagined. Like, it's pretty, it is pretty. I just have so many like really, really nice golds from Pat, you know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to beat her gold. She's like the queen of gold. I think that using the white shade, the brown shade, and just the kind of like sparkly topper shade, you can create like a more natural look with this as well. Like, I think it definitely is a palette that wants you to kind of play with color, but you can go a more safe route too with it. And I will say the white was a lot more pigmented on the eyes than I thought it was gonna be. Because when I first swatched it, I was like, that is so sheer. But yeah, no, it actually was, it built up great on the eye. I could see this being a great base for other colors and also just to really like brighten up the inner portion of the eye, which I love doing. Overall, I'd say it's priced pretty well. It's like $50, which I feel like they definitely could have charged more for it. So yeah, it's actually not that bad of a price, I feel. It has that like collector's item vibe. It's unique. It's definitely unique. The quality of the shadows is pretty good. The wet dryness of it all, I think, you know, there's probably just a learning curve, and I think it's definitely better with the metallics than it is the mattes. But also they have that gloss, so maybe that gloss is the key to really making, you know, the pigments shine. Yeah, I like this a lot more than I thought I was gonna. I'll definitely have to do a look using this green soon because it is really just so pretty. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you're notified every single time that I upload a new video. Follow me on Instagram, PrettyEarthAndGram. Follow me on Newness so you're notified every single time I'm doing a live stream. yeah, let me know what you think about this palette and if you've tried any of his nail polishes. I'm kind of like intrigued by the nail polishes, but I tried to paint my nails a few weeks ago and it was a complete disaster. I feel like, I don't know, it's just really hard to paint nails, at least for me. Okay, goodbye. Let's try out the, oh, fucking Jesus, okay.